#1 born shopper, Joan Rivers! Woo! Well, I am so thrilled because today we are starting our show with a name that brings to mind untold wealth, unique craftsmanship, unprecedented luxury from a bygone era, Faberge. And here to tell us about the history of this master craftsman and his creations is the author of several books on the subject, including Faberge Imperial Jewelry. I think he's probably the leading historian on Faberge today, Archduke Dr. Geza von Habsburg. Pleasure to have you on. And joining him is a very good friend of mine whose family has the largest collection of Faberge eggs outside of the Kremlin. I mean, unbelievable. One of which he has been sweet enough to bring with him today. Please welcome Kip Forbes. Nice to have you on. And the reason that you're on is because we are selling, just so they know why we're doing all this, we are selling wonderful dessert plates that have some of the unique eggs on them, the most famous, and also some wonderful service plates or platters that also have eggs. But we'll get to that later. Tell us, first of all, about Faberge, basically.
Faberge was the jeweler to the last two Tsars of Russia, Alexander III and Nicholas II. He lived or worked between 1870 and the First World War, and was the most famous jeweler in all of Europe, primarily known for his objects of art, not so much for his jewelry. And amongst his objects of art, his Easter eggs were by far the most famous.
And they were given, the royal family would give them to each other as...
The Tsar would give them, first of all, Alexander III to his wife during the years that he lived, for 10 years, and then Nicholas II both to his wife and his mother. So there were 54 or 56 in all.
And they were uniquely created, each one differently.
Each one took over a year to design and to craft, some of them up to 2 years, and each one is absolutely unique.
And inside would be a special surprise?
Some of them have surprises, some of them don't. I mean, some are the surprise themselves,
yes,
as the egg itself is the surprise.
Now, Kippy, may I ask you, you brought us what today?
This is
a real Faberge egg, by the way, guys. This is not fooling around. This is not Joan Rivers' jewelry collection, which is fabulous on its own, but tell me what egg you brought us.
This is the so-called 15th anniversary egg. It's the egg the Tsar gave to his wife on the 15th anniversary of their reign, and has wonderful miniatures of the whole family.
Turn it? Oh, do you want to turn it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the front is the portrait of the Tsar, and then on the other side is his wife and all the children, and then these incredible little paintings on ivory showing all the major events of the Tsar's reign, including his coronation, the first peace conference in The Hague, and a number of other special events.
And this was in
1911.
How many? You have the largest collection of eggs outside of the Kremlin.
With Joan, it's larger than the one in the Kremlin. We were never sure about missiles. We've always been ahead in eggs.
I bet. What did the eggs symbolize for the Russians? Did it have a special meaning? Because they always gave them, I know, I do my little egg necklaces. They always gave eggs to each other at Easter, or...
Apparently the egg is a traditional symbol of rebirth, and the whole, of course, point of Easter is the resurrection and the rebirth. So...
Why were they the only ones to do anything of this kind in the whole world, Faberge? I mean, it's so unique.
Well, he sort of took an art form that was a traditional art form. The traditional decorated eggs have been going on in the East for years and years, but Faberge just took it to the nth degree, and nobody ever quite matched them.
What would this be worth?
A lot.
If I wanted to buy it right now, write you out a check. How many zeros?
Let's talk.
What do you think is the most famous egg that has been created?
I think the coronation coach egg, which is also in the Forbes magazine collection. It's, I think on one of the plates here, it has a yellow shell and contains inside a replica of the, that's the one. The replica of the coronation coach as a surprise, the coach in which the Empress drove to her coronation in the year 1896.
Now this is one of the plates that we're selling, and a set of 4 plates, by the way, which are on beautiful china, and they're hand decorated in 14 karat gold. On the back of these, which I think is so special, they have, again, a little replica
that
of
is the coronation
surprise,
coach, in fact.
the coach that was put in it. Just so wonderful. What happened when the revolution happened? Do you know what happened to the eggs? How did you get to them? How did the Russians know enough not to destroy them?
The government quickly seized the contents of all the palaces, confiscated all the Tsar's belongings, and then during the 1920s sold many of the eggs to get hard currency and a lot of Faberge and other works of art.
Are there any eggs that you know of that are still missing?
But yes, several eggs. There's 2 that we know from photographs, and another either 5 or 7 that the whereabouts are unknown and we don't even know what they look like.
Do you ever get people calling you up and say, I think I have the egg? How can you know what I'm saying? I opened a shoebox that my grandmother slept with, and there was this egg. Come and look. Do you get those calls?
Yes, you do get those calls quite frequently, but almost invariably, with maybe one exception, they turn out to be forgeries.
But there was, now this would take hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to make a forgery like this, right?
Yes, indeed, yes. I mean, you asked a question about prices before. They have the highest price at auction for an egg was over $3 million.
$3 million.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible. Tell me about the 4 plates now. We're selling the 4 dessert dinner plates, and the different eggs on them are what? We have the carnation, and it tells you on the back, by the way, of each plate. These, by the way, can be used, actually, if you really want to use them and not just use as decoration. Then what egg is this?
That is the Renaissance egg of 1894 in the Forbes collection.
Okay, and you have this one too.
Another one for you, Joan.
Another one for you. Oh, we have to give you these to eat off of. And this again has the, and it tells you a little history, the last of the eggs done by Tsar Alexander for his wife. And this is the one we just looked at.
That's correct.
Right? And then there's a 4th one, which they didn't give me, but there's a 4th egg.
Peter the Great egg, I believe, which is at the Virginia Museum.
In the end, the Peter the Great egg. That's up. And then we have, which I think is so smashing, and these are $200 each. And this is the Peter the Great egg. Now these can be bought individually, by the way, the large plates at $200. You can pick which egg you want, or you can buy the set of 4 dessert plates for $200. They're porcelain, translucent, and they're hand decorated. Just wonderful. Why did you get into Faberge? How did you get into Faberge?
I burgled a safe. I was working for Christie's some 25 years ago, and I was asked to go and examine the contents of a house, which happened to have been the house of an ambassador who had been on post in Russia just after the revolution. And he'd amassed huge treasures, including a safe full of Faberge, which was sold at auction and fetched huge prices.
Even then?
Even then. This is back in 1970.
When was the last time, Kippy, that you bought a piece? That you actually went out and bought a piece of Faberge? Or were you constantly doing it?
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. What did you buy?
Wonderful kovsh, which Nicholas II gave to Alfonso XIII of Spain on the occasion of his marriage.
How do you know what to buy? It's just because it's Faberge, does it automatically make something valuable? Or is there a lot of stuff that they made, oops, it's not so good, let's just sell it to some jerk? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of Faberge.
They vary in quality depending where they were made. The things that we're looking at are made in St. Petersburg, and they are top quality.
And that's the best.
And things made in Moscow were made for another type of clientele and are not necessarily always quite the same level.
Now, by the way, if you want to see, I think, the most beautiful collection of Faberge in the whole world, when you come into New York, the Forbes building has the most wonderful collection, so beautifully put together in the museum of the Forbes building, which is down on Fifth Avenue?
Fifth Avenue and 12th Street.
And they've also got other collections. I mean, it's the most little-known gem, I think, in New York City. I think it's a fabulous place to go. By the way, as you know, I have been always selling the little Faberge egg necklaces, because I think for something like Faberge, if you want to buy something very special, very rare, these are translucent porcelain plates, very beautiful, the 4 eggs on them, $200, or the service plates or the little platters. You could buy one of these. Wonderful to hang on the wall, wonderful to put in something very special, okay? And the book, let's not go into that. The book, forget that. The book is sensational. If you want to know about Faberge, and God knows I want to know about it, this is the first book you should buy. And it's called, again, Faberge, let me make sure that, Faberge Imperial Jeweler. Would you tell us, Deborah, how we can get these wonderful plates? And I thank you. Can we get a close-up while we're talking about it? first of the book and then of the egg.
I certainly will, for something that's exceptional and exquisite. Now, don't miss out on this fabulous and unique gift idea. The Faberge accent dessert plates come in a set of 4. To order, it's item number R178 and priced at just $200, or 4 easy payments of just $50 for credit card customers only. For one of the Faberge presentation plates, it's item number R179 and priced at $200 each, or 4 easy payments of $50 for credit card customers only. Coming up later, the ultimate in personal pampering at an unbeatable price. The Perlier White Almond Deluxe Shower and Bath Kit with moisturizing cream bath, body cream, hand cream, and Perlier sponge. Also ahead, a perfect, easy way to cool off the whole family on hot summer days. The Big Chill Ice Cream Maker. And here's how easy it is to order. Just have your MasterCard handy when you phone the 800 number on the bottom of your screen. Tell your friendly operator if you'll be paying by MasterCard or another credit card, personal check, or even money order. And give the item number for the product you're sure you want. Back to you, Joan.
We're all saying how well done these plates are. They're really, really quite beautiful. And again, they're not to be used in a dishwasher, and don't put them in your microwave, for God's sake. Unless you're very rich. And when we come back, jewelry from my own collection, so stay with us.